Fridays at 4 p.m.
Good afternoon. Welcome to First Local. It is Tuesday, June the 1st. You are with Heidi and Colette on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Hope you're enjoying your day today.
Yes.
Yes.
Good afternoon to you. Quite lovely out there.
It is very much so.
Yes.
We are waiting for Craig to update us on the forecast, who will be coming up soon. On today's show, we're going to cover up a few things. This is Bicycle Safety Month, so we're going to talk about the 34 collisions that have happened thus far in the year with regards to bicycle fatalities.
Wild.
I believe. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. Ontario did mandate some immunization processes for our long-term care facilities.
Yes.
And you're going to look into our post-secondary institutions and what they're doing. Right now, from what I gather, they're not making it across the board. It's just
it's still very much school by school. We did talk about Western University last week that is looking at mandating at least a first vaccination for anybody who wants to come in and live in residence, but they will also allow up to 2 weeks for people to get their shot once they get there. So,
also, Ford is going to possibly shuffle his cabinet. There's an election coming up in a year, so perhaps that's what he's doing. Yeah, he's going to shuffle those cards.
Yeah.
But we have all that coming up over the next half an hour. But let's start off with Craig Huckerby and his weather forecast for the week.
Thank you very much, and it's a beautiful day out there. I don't know if you've been out yet today, but I definitely encourage you to do it. Let's take a look outside. Here's a perfect spot to go to the waterfront and the marina and the boardwalk. Excellent day for that, so enjoy it. Very warm temperatures right now, about 20 degrees. Winds are light, and the sky is clear for the most part. We will take a look at the satellite shot and show you just what is going on across North America. You can see it's almost like a big question mark right around the Great Lakes and down towards the southern U.S. That's called a Gulf Stream. That's all moisture that's not coming our way. Normally it would, but right now, because that high is in place, it's stirring it off towards the east. So we have nothing to worry about. We may see some pop-up showers over the next couple of days just from daytime heating, but no systems are going to be triggering thunderstorms or rain events for the Sioux anyway. We'll take a look at the rest of the day for you, and we're seeing mainly sunny skies right now with a few passing clouds. Temperatures right now at 20, we're heading towards 23 by 5 o'clock this afternoon. We have for the evening just a mix of sun and cloud because the sun is still out till about 10 o'clock at night now, so that's very nice. Temperatures around 20 degrees. Very nice evening shaping up. And clear overnight, temperatures only dipping to 6 degrees, so great sleeping weather. And again, we do have a mini heat wave in the works for this weekend and into next week. I'll tell you more about that coming up at 5 o'clock. Let's send it back to Heidi and Colette right now.
Thank you, Craigers. City Council is about to launch 2 new streams to its Tourism Development Fund. They did approve this, and Attractions and Product Development stream, which provides support for upgrades to the creation of new infrastructure, businesses, or products that will create a quantifiable improvement to the tourism offerings in Sault Ste. Marie. The other stream pertains to festivals and special events, as well as sport tournaments, which have the ability to attract several people here to Sault Ste. Marie. In a statement from the Travis Anderson, who's the Director of Tourism Community Development, he did say that Sault Ste. Marie is about building a place where people want to visit, live, and do business. Okay. Tourism is one of the most valuable tools to build the community that we want. The addition of the Tourism Development Fund supports new and existing events within the effort to attract and inspire current visitors to stay longer in the community. Now, the funds allow Council more flexibility to support projects that advance the city's corporate strategic plan with the future SSM project that has taken place and has been taking place for a while. Applicants to the Tourism Fund, this is the important part, may apply once every fiscal year up to a maximum of $20,000 for the festivals and special events stream, and up to a maximum of $50,000 for the attractions and product development stream. This is posted to SiouxOnline.com, and if you'd like some more information, that's where you can find it.
Wow. Excellent.
Yeah, big news for the
tourism is very important for sure, and sure to attract tourism and facilitate tourism is the awesome trajectory that our numbers have taken locally. This is the second day in a row. It is my sincere pleasure to announce we don't have any new cases confirmed, and I did just double check the Algoma Health website, Algoma Public Health website, before the show aired. So really, I'll just be giving you some rolling totals and then sharing some more good news on behalf of the province. So we have administered 144,879 tests locally, out of which we have confirmed 392 cases. Of those, and this is a significant drop in my opinion, because yesterday we reported that we had 18 cases that were considered to be active. Today, I am happy to report that that number has dropped by 6, so we are now at 12 active cases. Currently, we have dropped from 5 to 4 people in hospital. Formerly, 2 of those numbers were Algoma residents. The Algoma residents have been released from the hospital. We do have 1 more person who's come in from outside of the region, so we have 4 people in hospital, all 4 of them listed as non-Algoma residents. We have resolved 380 cases, and there are now 100 cases that have screened positive for the variants of concern. So provincially then, also a good day. Ontario is reporting 699 new COVID-19 cases and 9 additional deaths on Tuesday. Smallest daily increase in cases since before the peak of the second wave. The province last reported fewer cases on October 18th. So it's also the second straight day with fewer than 1,000 cases. And this is something that Ontario hasn't seen since early March. Province is reporting a test positivity rate of 3.6%, which is down from 4.3% a day ago. Positivity rate was 6.2% 1 week ago. There were 20,262 tests completed in the last 24-hour period, which is up from 18,226 completed tests a day ago. Again, the note that the testing counts typically are lower earlier in the week. And as far as the hotspots, 207 new cases reported in Toronto, 144 in Peel, 52 in the York region, and 50 in Durham.
Thank you very much. As we brought up this morning, they were bringing to the table, to the federal table, with regards to mixing vaccines. If you had your AstraZeneca shot first, could you then mix in Moderna or Pfizer? The answer is absolutely yes. That was just released moments ago before the show started. Good. The federal government has, actually it was the Canada's National Advisory Committee on Immunization, which is NACI. They just approved that if you did take AstraZeneca, at one time they were saying that you could only follow that with Moderna or Pfizer, and then vice versa with Johnson & Johnson if you took Moderna first. So they are saying that if you did take your AstraZeneca first, you can follow that up with any vaccination, and that will be posted to our website because it literally just came in. Good. We will be back after this brief commercial. We want to talk a little bit about the releasing review of military justice system, which is rocked by sexual misconduct crisis. And hey, theaters back in Toronto coming in August. Okay. Burbage has announced that their play, I believe it's called Blindness, will be at the Royal Alexander. We were just talking about that. Royal Alexander Theatre, which was supposed to be released in September of 2020. So a little bit behind because of obvious reasons, but we will be right back to talk about all those things. Enjoy the break.
On TV News, supported by Gary Chervinsky, Exit Realty, Lake Superior. Buying a home is a big decision, so is choosing the right agent. Call Gary Chervinsky, broker at Exit Realty, Lake Superior, 705-257-5432. On TV News, supported by YDoc Detailing. Call YDoc Detailing at 249-356-6688 to book an appointment for detailing or paint correction services today.
Don't click it, Mike. It's a scam.
Oh, hi, Voice of Reason. It looks legit.
Don't click. Listen to your voice of reason before you act.
I deleted it.
Canada.ca/bscamsmart can help.
Loss is something that never leaves you. Donate $45 today to help victims of impaired driving. A message from Mad Canada.
Good afternoon and welcome back to First Local Afternoons. You are here with Heidi and Colette. We are inside, although it is beautiful outside, and we are going to talk to you a little bit about what some organizations are doing with regards to vaccinations, to mandate, to not mandate.
That's right. And I know emergency preparedness is a big issue, whether it be in the workplace or in the government, or should a pandemic occur, what to do next. So policies and procedures following such a pandemic or following any type of issue is key in making sure that everybody's following the same guidelines. So Ontario did mandate immunization policies and procedures for long-term care facilities today. Ontario is taking further action to protect our long-term care home residents by becoming the first province in Canada to make it mandatory for homes to have COVID-19 immunization policies for staff, which will set out minimum requirements, that policies for staff that need to be followed. Again, this is not just for the residents, this is for the family members, this is for the staff. In order to participate in any educational programs or recreational programs that they do offer in long-term care homes, homes will be required to track and report on the implementation of their policies, including their overall staff immunization rates. What's kind of interesting, though, the immunization status of staff and members will not be shared with the province. By encouraging more workers to get vaccinated, the likelihood of infections and outbreaks is reduced, which allows for additional easing of restrictions in homes and more opportunities for the residents to enjoy activities and get back to their lives and to support their well-being and quality of life. So way to go, Ontario, for being the first province in Canada to our territory to do that.
Okay, and picking up on the heels of that, so, I did kind of, like I said, we touched on last week how Western University in London has announced that students living in residence will need to have at least one dose of the vaccination to live on campus, and they will allow up to 2 weeks for people to get that dose. The conversation is continuing locally, of course, as Algoma U is preparing for its next semester, and Brianne Pringle, who is the acting HR director, is indicating that details around what campus life will look like is still kind of in flux, including whether or not they will be making any sort of mandated requirements around COVID-19 vaccinations. So, and as we can imagine, she's taking into consideration that there are a lot of factors that play into this. Obviously, at the top of mind, the forefront of any decisioning body would be the safety of the community that they are protecting, and then really tying it into whether or not people have their own rights on whether or not they want to get vaccinated at all, right? Because it's a big conversation, and a lot of people are really kind of taking the decision very seriously, as they should. So she's trying to, the community, the decisioning people at Algoma University are trying to weigh those rights against keeping the community safe. On a broader note, there are a lot of discussions happening across the board at post-secondary institutions. Collège Boreal in Sudbury has indicated it's very unlikely the college will make vaccinations mandatory for students and staff. And, again, in this moment, given that it's just now gone June 1st, the discussions are underway, and it will be interesting to see how it plays out. And of course, we will keep you up to date on any decisions that get made in a firm capacity.
So as you recall, yesterday, Heidi and I wore orange, and a lot of people did, and that was in solidarity for the Indigenous community to recognize and accept and pay homage to those who attended residential schools, those who lost family members at residential schools. And in keeping with that frame of thought, the leadership of the Batchewana First Nation, they did acknowledge the grieving yesterday in a statement released in a media release that we did receive to our newsroom and posted to SiouxOnline.com. The leadership of Batchewana First Nation acknowledged the grieving that is taking place with their First Nations relatives to the west after the discovery of the 215 remains. Unfortunately, this grieving process is familiar for most First Nations who are continuously dealing with the aftermath of residential schools. BFN leadership are calling on the Government of Canada to take inventory of the relationship with the Indigenous peoples of the country and evaluate what positive changes need to take place in the name of reconciliation. Chief Sayers goes on to say that it was encouraging to see the turnout at Algoma University yesterday for the Kamloops Memorial. It gave them the chance to see the support at the local level, which means people are taking this initiative to educate themselves about the residential schools experience, and they truly appreciated that yesterday.
Yeah.
It is a great initial step forward, and they do hope the Canadian government can learn from these actions, as do I and as do most. Further, the Chief and Council of BFM challenges all levels of government, educational institutions and agencies to include an acknowledgement that Indigenous people are still here and recognize the proper jurisdiction of lands and resources to see them return to the Indigenous people where those actions are aligned with legal history. If you have any questions with regards to anything, they are asking you to contact Alex Surratt, and she is the Batchewana First Nations Communication Manager, and we appreciate everything that you guys are passing along, and also that you released that statement today. We are going to take a quick break and come back with some more news and a little bit of social media, and I hear some factoids that Heidi has hidden up her sleeve. We'll be right back.
First Local, supported by James Seaton, Mortgage Specialist. Your new home doesn't come with mortgage advice. I do. Call James Seaton Mortgage Specialist, RBC 705-975-1519.
Is going to a party really worth it? Putting yourself at risk puts everyone at risk. Help limit the spread of COVID-19.
Before?
I can.
Okay. Welcome back to First Local with Heidi and Colette on this Tuesday, the 1st day of June. It is around 1:15. We are going to continue on with some news and bring you some social media updates as well. Over to you, my friend.
Yeah, so we did announce that this is Bicycle Safety Month.
Yeah.
So we do have some statistics that will highlight the importance of being safe on your bicycle. I'm just getting the update here. So obviously the police are taking this opportunity to remind everybody the importance of being aware, in particular if you're driving a vehicle, sharing the road in a respectful and safe manner. If you're a cyclist, always being on your guard, making sure you're wearing appropriate helmets and protective equipment. Startling statistic to my way of thinking anyway,
I think so too.
Far in 2021, there have been 34 collisions involving a vehicle and a cyclist. So given that we just now hit, I mean, that's almost 7 a month, you know, since we just rolled into June 1st.
It's crazy, that's nuts, yeah.
So, you know, reminding vehicle drivers to maintain a minimum of 1 meter distance when passing a cyclist. Watch for passing cyclists when opening doors into traffic. Slow down when overtaking a cyclist on the road. As far as cyclists are concerned, you want to check for vehicles and cyclists with the right-of-way before entering an intersection. Keep your place in line of traffic when approaching an intersection. Ride in a single file and to the right side of the road to help vehicles make safe passes, and stop at stop signs when approaching an intersection and yield right-of-way to traffic. So yes, you know, good advice, good information. We do absolutely advocate getting out and being active, but please do so in a safe manner.
Okay, well, you know, with a pandemic comes government ruling that perhaps has never been put in place before. So in my very humble opinion, I do feel that Premier Ford has done a decent job of trying to navigate these waters. Okay. Saying that there is an election coming up in 1 year, so what is he doing to make sure that he's got his butt in that seat? Well, he's about to shuffle his cabinet. On Thursday is the day when all cabinet members will stand up for the last time. They get a nice long summer break over at Queen's Park. So before this shuffle, looking to shuffle his cabinet as a like I said, he's looking to shuffle his cabinet before this takes place on Thursday. Why is he doing this? Well, he wants to secure some MPPs who are conservative MPPs and who are already ahead in their riding. Okay. Just to give them a higher portfolio and ensure a spot. Ford's approval ratings has had a sharp drop in recent months, and his chances to hold on as premier will hinge on his ability to bring the province out of this pandemic. Okay. I don't know what any other leader would have done differently. I'm sure there's several opinions out there. that's fine too. Anyways, I just wanted to let you know, look for a cabinet shuffle before they go on summer vacay this Thursday.
Okay. Well, locally, we're looking at some new programming to support construction apprentices. So the Construction Apprenticeship Support Program is set to start on June 14th, and it's targeting providing support to apprenticeship seekers and apprentices to begin and or successfully complete an apprenticeship in the local construction sector. The program will ensure that participants are in the best possible position to succeed. So basically what it's looking at doing is providing access to trades-based vocational aptitude pre-assessments, access to in-demand trade apprenticeship market information, education on the various pathways to enter apprenticeships, and apprenticeship completion strategies. Also aiming to ensure that apprenticeship seekers have the tools and strategies needed to set themselves up for long-term success. So definitely a lot of supports that are not commonly available through trade schools will be provided through this program. Some of the free supports included in the programming are apprenticeship information sessions, access to an apprenticeship resource lending library, industry-specific professional development workshops, mental health supports, exam preparation supports, related workshops, and access to peer mentors. So construction sector apprentices, seekers, and current apprentices, journey person trainers, and employers can feel free to contact Beth Latcher, who is the program manager at 7590909. She is at extension 4231, and that is offered through the Sault Community Career Center.
That's awesome stuff, all about the trades. That's great. I'm happy to report that my son's going to go into a trade in September, and I think that's the way to go.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to come back from this quick commercial break. We're going to talk a little bit about some social media and factoids and end this afternoon on a high note. We'll be right back.
First Local, supported by James Seaton, Mortgage Specialist. Your new home doesn't come with mortgage advice. I do. Call James Seaton Mortgage Specialist, RBC 705-975-1519. First Local, supported by YDoc Detailing. Call YDoc Detailing at 249-356-6688 to book an appointment for detailing or paint correction services today.
When I found out I had cancer, it was the hardest day of my life. But life is bigger than cancer.
Good afternoon, welcome back to First Local Afternoons. You are here with Colette and Heidi. I'm going to switch it up a little bit now because we've just been talking at you. And talking at you and talking at you. So I'm going to regale you now with back-to-back factoids,
oh my
baby.
God. What am I gonna do?
All right. This date, June 1st in 1967, David Bowie, one of my personal favorites.
Substitutes.
He released his self-titled debut studio album. So 2 singles were released from the album, Rubber Band and The Laughing Gnome. The album's failure cost Bowie his record contract with Durham Records, who dropped him in April of 1968. So there you go.
Okay.
He started off a very successful career by being dropped by his record company. Okay, factoid number 2. June 1st, 1980, CNN launches, okay? So the world's first, it was the world's first 24-hour television news network, and it's signed on from its headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia, with a lead story about the attempted assassination of civil rights leader Vernon Jordan. CNN, of course, went on to change the notion that news could only be reported at fixed times throughout the day. At the time of CNN's launch, TV news was dominated by 3 major networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC. and their nightly 30-minute broadcasts, right?
Very
So
cool.
keeping it to that, just like us right
Yeah.
now, 30 minutes. So initially available in less than 2 million U.S. homes, today CNN is seen in more than 90 million American households and over 370 million households and hotel rooms internationally. CNN, of course, being the brainchild of Robert Ted Turner, who was a very colorful and outspoken businessman dubbed as Mouth of the South.
Yes.
Yeah, so there
Very
you go.
cool.
Factoid.
Well, just before I tie into social media, I want to share the story about this 7-year-old boy from Florida.
Yes,
He was out with his
yes.
mom, with his brother and his sister. His father was fishing. He is 7 years old. He was with his little sister Abigail, who's 4. They were playing on the beach. Well, what happened was the 4-year-old sister was swimming to shore and calling for help. The father and the 4-year-old needed the help. The father, Stephen, told Jax 4 television station that he anchored his boat in the river while he fished and his children played. Their father jumped in the water to grab the little one when she got caught up in the current. So this little guy, who's 7 years old, swam for 1 hour. He kept swimming, doggy paddling, and floating on his back to keep from tiring out. He made it, crews from the Jacksonville Fire and Rescue Department, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, and Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission heard his cries for help after an hour, and they went and rescued the 4-year-old sister and the father, and that is a little hero. So we wanted to share that awesome news out of Florida.
Little man.
Isn't that awesome? So
He's lucky he didn't get eaten. What did they have down there? Crocodiles or alligators? Because
Yes.
it's one or the other.
Yes.
It's not both.
well, I'm gonna go alligators. Anyways, over to you for some social media.
Mike offered up sharks.
Well, we're not talking.
Well, shorts can be dangerous,
So can words.
especially in the water. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, okay. So, social
3.5
media.
minutes
Well,
to show-
I don't know. Everybody's kind of quiet this afternoon, so I'm not sure that what I've got here is
Oh.
going to get us through 3.5 seconds. So I'm really going to kind of,
So there's no comments today.
drag it out.
Okay,
Well, there are
alright.
some.
Okay.
There are some.
Well, the negative ones. We love those. I'm a little
Okay.
sour today about that.
Margaret McCaig. I think Margaret was first this morning, too. Good afternoon to you, Margaret. Thank you for being dedicated and such a loyal supporter. Your messages and comments are always positive and supportive and uplifting, so thank you very much for that. Always grateful
You
for
really are extending this, aren't you?
kindness and support. Bradley,
man.
are you done with your training gig now? Because I don't, maybe you're not. I don't know. Anyway, Bradley says, good afternoon, everyone, with 3 exclamation points and a peace sign. Peace out to you too. Enika, good afternoon, everyone. Even Enika's kind of, meh. There's no lunch, there's no beverage, there's no place setting. Enika, que pasa, que pasa? Oh, whoops. And Kimberly says, good afternoon, but only 1 exclamation point. I'm feeling the Tuesday here. You know,
That's
you
okay.
make it through
I
Monday.
can yeah.
You take all of your energy on Sunday to get yourself up and ready for Monday. You make it through Monday, and then it's Tuesday.
It is Taco Tuesday, so we'll start with that. Also, I had the privilege to interview Jennifer today from the
Yes.
FJ Davy home, and what we were discussing at first was this new bus idea that they have, and they go out twice a week with the residents, and they just go around and they see their family. There's a local musician that they stop and they play some oldies for them,
Nice.
and they sing along. There's only six residents who are allowed on the bus due to procedures and parameters put in place
Okay.
by the FJ Davy home. But I guess about twice a week. I also asked her about, how are your residents feeling now that restrictions have lifted slightly, where they can take the residents outside to see their family at a distance, and she said it's going off very well. They also talked about how they've had to change up their activities and recreational activities for the residents due to COVID. And so that interview will be playing out this week as well. So look for that. We will post that to StuOnline.com.
Yes.
And it was a really good interview. So just wanted to thank them today for taking that time and for just implementing different activities to make the residents of the long-term care facilities feeling loved. That's all that matters.
That is all that matters. I want to talk, well, you know what, I can fit into that 1 minute. I can talk to you, I can give you more details about the Mirvish production because, I did live in Toronto for a time. I've seen
It's a big deal.
many Mirvish sponsored productions at the Princess of Wales.
Yeah.
So, as you were saying earlier, they have announced a new date for what's billed as Toronto's first indoor theatre presentation since the pandemic shut down live performance venues. The theatre giant plans to stage the Donmar Warehouse production of, and you were were right. Blindness, a socially distanced sound installation on August 4th. The Canadian premiere of the show will unfold under health and safety measures on the stage of the Princess of Wales Theatre. Audiences will be limited to 50 people per performance and be seated in pods of 1 or 2. Wow, that's wow.
Do you know what the play's about? Oh, sorry. The play is about a pandemic, which is something the play is about a pandemic, which is something we really haven't heard enough about in the last year.
No.
But it's awesome that they're opening up. Listen, have an amazing Tuesday evening. We are going to be here because tomorrow is Hump Day. We'll see you at 8 a.m.